Good morning, folks. It's been a week of Sundays since I've done anything with the cooking, but it's summertime. I'm out on the water usually, or I'm out doing chores. So a very good friend of mine, a couple of years or so back, I had made my homemade pecan brittle, and he liked it so much literally asked me if I pay you, will you make some? And I said, no, you ain't gonna pay me for it. What you do got to do is come up with some pecans because they ain't cheap. Well, he spun a little bit of a surprise on me, and he showed up with walnuts. So he said that's his favorite nut, and he wants me to make walnut brittle. Now, I've never done this before, so we're going to be experimenting today. For the brittle recipe, I'm going to read off what we got, and we'll work at it from there. We're going to look for 1 stick of butter, 1.5 cups of white Karo syrup, 2 cups of sugar, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 cups of broken pecans or peanuts or brittle. I'm going to cook all that up until temperature hits 240. Yeah, a candy thermometer is not an option here. It is a must. And then we got to add the walnuts, and then we got to get it up to about 300, 310. Now, I use literally, here, hang on 1 second. I have almost a cast iron old pot that I use for this because this takes a lot of heat. You don't want something that's going to heat up quick because it will lose temperature quick. You want a slow heat to bring it up and maintain it. So we're going to give this a shot. Also, right after this, I think I'm going to make patties with venison stew. We'll give that a shot too. I'm going to be busy in my kitchen today. Let's see what we got. And we are back. Here we got our nice toasted walnuts. Oh, they got a great flavor. Good smell. In here, in this wonderful adventure, we have 1.5 cups of Karo syrup, 1 stick of butter, and 2 cups of sugar. Now, one of the biggest things you're going to need for this is a candy thermometer. Vital. Because you need to get that temperature up to hard crack, which is about 300 degrees. I like to go about 310, just so we can make sure we got that hard crack. Because if not, you get this nasty stuff that's just not even edible. So we're going to let this slow heat. Well, I got it on high right now just to get it to melt out. But you're going to bring it up to temperature. Now, you're going to see it turn brown. It's going to have a brownish color to it because you're toasting almost the sugars and the Karo syrup and everything together in the butter. So we're going to take a look at this after we get it melting down, right before we go and dump our stuff in, and we'll discuss temperature and stuff like this. Making candies is not a scary thing. It's not a witchcraft thing. It's just you got to follow directions. If you can follow directions, you can do pretty much anything. Let's see what we got going on in a little bit. And the magic candy thermometer has spoken. If we look, we're looking at right at softball 240. So what we're going to do is we're going to add 2 cups chopped toasted walnuts to it. Stir that in. The next thing we're going to be looking at is we're going to have to push this temperature up to about 300 to 310 degrees. And then we're going to be looking at what we need. So it's a temperature thing. And you got to really pay attention to it. A good candy thermometer is just vital. So we're going to let that sit and cook slow. Let's bring that bad boy up to about 310. Once we get it up to 310, then we add the soda, and then we put it onto the cookie sheet. So we'll give you a holler once that time comes. Latest. Moving right along, we are past soft crack, and we are heading up to hard crack. We're looking at approximately 107. Correction. We are right now looking at 275 degrees. I need to have it up to 310. You're getting this beautiful golden caramely color. Don't panic if your nose tells you something is burning. You're going to go, oh my God, that smells like it's burning. It's not burning. There's nothing really to burn. So it's just coloring and it's darkening and it's toasting and all that other junk. So we're almost there, about 25 more degrees, 20, 20, maybe 35. Yeah, ish. We'll see what we get. Bye. So we have now reached the magic 310 degrees, which is a hard crack. Now, here's what we're going to do. You're going to cut your heat off. Take your half a teaspoon of baking soda and pour it in there. Take it off the heat completely and stir that baking soda in. The purpose of that is it gives it a color. It lightens the color of the entire mixture, and it puts a little bit of fluff into it. You don't want a whole lot because this is brittle, but you do want a little bit. As you can see, we're getting a very creamy looking stuff now. Now, the next step, flip this over. All right, so we got our pan. Our pan is lightly sprayed. And when I say lightly, I mean lightly sprayed with cooking spray. And we're going to dump this right straight out onto the pan. Now, this is hotter than the hubs of Hades itself, so don't fuck around with it. This is not something you want to touch. It's a quick way to get yourself to go to the emergency room. It's that freaking bad. Now, I'm going to spread this out and get it thinner so that we get an even mixture here. The thinner it is, the nicer it is to chew on. All right. So here's what we've got. You pour it out, you pour it onto there, and it's a beautiful tannish color. It's really looking nice. So what you do is you leave this sit until it's cool. At that point, you're going to go through and crack it. And we'll go ahead and do that also, because of course we got to taste it, make sure it's edible for friends and family and everything like that. That's why Burke's fat. And we have finally cooled. All done. Take your sheet, put a little bend to it till it comes loose. Start just breaking it into chunks. Now it's going to be a little greasy on the bottom. Get over it. It's not going to be something that anyone's really going to pay much attention to. And if you put it in like a container with a little paper towel in it, you should be all right. So let's see how bad it is. Okay. The walnuts are not overpowering hardly at all. I mean, it's almost a light nut taste. That'll work. Might have to figure out how to bump that taste up just a little bit, but we'll figure it out one of these days. This was all experimental anyway. Well, Steve, I hope you enjoy it. Y'all take it easy. Be safe out there.